For decades, America has been seen as the land of opportunity, where dreams come to life and success awaits around every corner. The bright lights of its major cities, with towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, symbolize progress and prosperity. But beneath the dazzling surface lies a stark reality, one that many don't see. Homelessness is rising at an alarming rate, particularly in the nation's largest cities. While the U.S. economy boasts impressive growth, millions of people still struggle daily just to find a place to sleep. But what's causing this crisis? How have cities once known for wealth and success become overwhelmed by homelessness? Today's documentary will reveal the truth about the rapid population shifts in America's 10 largest cities and the escalating homelessness crisis affecting them. Stay tuned until the end. You won't want to miss these shocking details. 1. New York City. Known as the Big Apple, New York is home to 8.3 million people from over 180 countries. It is the most populous city in the U.S. and a hub of wealth, with thousands of millionaires and hundreds of billionaires. The average annual salary in New York is a dream figure, around $65,000. Yet, beneath this wealth, homelessness is surging at an unprecedented rate. New York has the highest number of homeless individuals in the country, with over 158,000 people, including more than 50,000 children. Approximately one-fifth of the city's population relies entirely on food banks. It's no longer unusual to see people sleeping on subway platforms, setting up makeshift tents at the base of skyscrapers, or resting on the sidewalks of shopping districts. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the city relocated thousands of homeless individuals to hotels to prevent the virus from spreading. At its peak, 15,000 hotel rooms provided temporary shelter for 25,000 homeless people in a single night. One of the key drivers behind this crisis is the influx of refugees, along with skyrocketing rents and a severe shortage of affordable housing. According to New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli, housing affordability has been a long-standing issue, and more families are being pushed onto the streets. Although New York has the largest number of emergency shelter beds in the country, 127,500 in total, the shelters remain overcrowded. The city is racing to convert offices, hotels, and even temporary tent setups into housing, but the demand far exceeds the supply. Even so, New York has one silver lining. Its rate of unsheltered homeless individuals is the lowest in the nation, standing at just 3.6%. 2. Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the city of dreams and Hollywood glamour, paints a picture of luxury, millionaires in sleek sports cars, lavish meals costing tens of thousands of dollars, and wild parties in exclusive clubs. But just a few blocks away, the reality is shockingly different. The infamous Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles is one of the most visible reminders of the homelessness crisis. Sidewalks are lined with makeshift tents, and some individuals have resorted to drawing power from streetlights to survive. While LA is known as the entertainment capital of the world, it is also infamous for its extreme cost of living. A basic studio apartment now costs around $1,700 per month, an amount that is out of reach for many residents. Even high-earning professionals are struggling. In October 2024, the case of Dr. Daniel Merrill, an astronomy lecturer at UCLA, shocked the public. Despite making $70,000 per year, the rising cost of living forced him into homelessness. Unable to afford rent, he now stays with friends far from work and has switched to online teaching. To combat this growing issue, LA authorities demolished 32 homeless encampments in 2023 and relocated over 21,000 individuals to designated shelters and hotels. The city spends over $1 billion annually on social welfare programs, mental health services, and police reinforcements to control crime in homeless areas. 3. San Francisco. Home to major corporations like Wells Fargo and Twitter, San Francisco should be a beacon of economic prosperity. But while the tech industry thrives, the city is battling a worsening homelessness crisis. San Francisco accounts for nearly one-third of the homeless population in the United States, ranking just behind New York and Los Angeles. Areas like Tenderloin are filled with tents and littered streets, forcing many longtime residents to leave. One of the biggest issues is the sky-high rent. A one-bedroom apartment in San Francisco now costs an astonishing $3,300 per month, making it nearly impossible for low-income individuals to secure stable housing. Even those with jobs are one financial setback away from losing their homes. Currently, homeless individuals in the city receive a $700 monthly subsidy from the government. However, many choose to stay on the streets rather than enter shelters, as the facilities prohibit drug use. 4. Las Vegas. Las Vegas is world famous for its casinos, luxury resorts, and extravagant nightlife. But behind the neon lights, thousands of people are struggling to survive. Around 20% of employed residents still cannot afford housing, making Las Vegas a hotspot for homelessness. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the situation became dire. A lesser-known fact is that many of the city's homeless population live in the underground sewer system, dark, damp tunnels ranging from 2 to 4.5 meters high. Over 1,500 people have built makeshift homes using scrap materials in these dangerous conditions. Despite the city's wealth, around one-third of Las Vegas homes remain vacant, yet they are inaccessible to those in need. Many homeless individuals resort to illegally occupying abandoned houses to find shelter. In response, the city has introduced strict laws. Individuals sleeping on the streets or setting up tents in public spaces can face $1,000 fines or 6 months in jail. 5. Seattle. Seattle, home to Amazon, Microsoft, and Starbucks, is one of the most technologically advanced cities in America. With a median household income of $105,000, it might seem like a prosperous place. But beneath the surface, Seattle is grappling with a severe homelessness crisis. Over 53,000 people are homeless in Washington state, and nearly 70% of them are in Seattle alone. The biggest culprit? Skyrocketing housing costs. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Seattle has now surpassed $2,400 per month, forcing many middle-class workers out of the city. Even people earning $60,000 per year struggle to find affordable housing, leading to a rise in makeshift encampments across the city. One of the most alarming issues is the high rate of drug addiction among the homeless population. Fentanyl, a powerful opioid, has taken over the streets, worsening crime and public safety concerns. In 2023, Seattle recorded a record-breaking 1,200 overdose deaths, the highest in the city's history. Local authorities have invested over $300 million into shelters and social services, but homelessness continues to grow. Despite the city's efforts, Seattle's housing crisis remains one of the worst in the nation. 6. Portland. Portland, Oregon, was once known for its vibrant culture, eco-friendly initiatives, and booming job market. But today, the city has earned a new reputation as one of America's homeless capitals. With a population of over 650,000, Portland has more than 18,000 homeless residents, a number that has nearly doubled since 2020. Tents line the sidewalks and makeshift encampments have spread into residential neighborhoods. One major reason for this crisis is Oregon's decriminalization of hard drugs. In 2021, Oregon became the first U.S. state to legalize small amounts of meth, heroin, and fentanyl. While the goal was to prioritize treatment over punishment, the result has been devastating. Drug addiction has skyrocketed, with overdose deaths increasing by 60% in just 2 years. In response, Portland has spent over $500 million on affordable housing and shelters. The city also passed new laws banning daytime camping and forcing homeless individuals to move to designated areas. However, enforcement has been difficult, and thousands remain on the streets. 7. San Diego. San Diego, known for its beautiful beaches and near-perfect weather, is another city struggling with a massive homelessness crisis. With a population of 1.4 million, San Diego now has over 10,000 homeless people, the fourth highest in the nation. Many of them live in makeshift tent cities under freeways, on beaches, and even in storm drains. One key factor behind San Diego's homelessness problem is sky-high rent. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is now $2,700 per month, making it one of the least affordable cities in the U.S. Even people working full-time jobs struggle to afford basic housing. Adding to the crisis, San Diego has been hit with a severe hepatitis A outbreak among its homeless population. In 2023 alone, there were nearly 600 cases, many of them linked to unsanitary living conditions. The city has spent $1.2 billion over the past decade to build shelters, provide medical aid, and offer addiction treatment, but the problem persists. While some housing projects have helped, the sheer number of people in need far exceeds the available resources. 8. Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona, has one of the fastest-growing homeless populations in the country. Over 13,000 people are currently homeless, a number that has tripled in the past decade. One of the biggest challenges is extreme heat. In the summer, Phoenix regularly sees temperatures above 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius, making it one of the deadliest cities for the homeless. Every year, dozens of people die from heat stroke and dehydration. Rent prices have also skyrocketed. In 2020, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment was $1,000. Today, it's $1,800, an 80% increase in just 4 years. Another issue is evictions. Arizona has some of the most landlord-friendly laws in the country, allowing property owners to evict tenants with just 5 days' notice. As a result, thousands of people have been forced onto the streets with nowhere to go. The city has opened heat relief shelters and designated cooling stations, but the demand far exceeds the supply. With record-breaking heat waves becoming more common, homelessness in Phoenix is becoming a life-or-death crisis. 9. Denver. Denver, Colorado, has long been considered one of America's most desirable places to live. With stunning mountain views and a thriving job market, the city has attracted thousands of new residents. But with this growth has come an alarming rise in homelessness. Currently, Denver has over 9,000 homeless individuals, a number that has doubled since 2018. The city's shelters are at full capacity, forcing people to set up tent encampments in parks and downtown streets. One major issue is affordable housing. In the past 5 years, home prices in Denver have increased by 50%, and the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is now $2,200 per month. Many residents who once had stable housing have been pushed onto the streets. Denver has introduced sweeps, operations where police remove encampments and relocate people to shelters. However, many homeless individuals simply set up new camps elsewhere, leading to an endless cycle. In 2023, Denver announced a $250 million housing initiative, aimed at building 2,000 new affordable units. But experts say this won't be enough to address the city's growing crisis. 10. Austin. Austin, Texas, has seen explosive growth in recent years, becoming a major tech hub and attracting thousands of new residents. But while the city's economy is booming, homelessness has more than doubled in the past decade. Austin now has over 10,000 homeless people, and encampments have spread throughout the city. Many are located under overpasses and along busy highways, creating safety concerns for both residents and travelers. One of the biggest reasons behind Austin's homelessness crisis is the rising cost of housing. In 2010, the median home price in Austin was $200,000. Today, it's over $600,000, making it nearly impossible for low-income residents to afford stable housing. The city has tried different strategies to address the crisis. In 2019, Austin decriminalized public camping, allowing homeless individuals to sleep on sidewalks and in parks. But after massive public backlash, the law was reversed in 2021, and new restrictions were put in place. Despite spending over $500 million on housing and support services, the crisis continues to grow. With the city's rapid expansion, experts warn that homelessness in Austin will only get worse in the coming years. Final thoughts. The homelessness crisis in America is not just a problem of economics. It's a crisis of policy, affordability, and social support. Cities that were once symbols of success and opportunity are now struggling to provide even the most basic necessities for their residents. With housing costs continuing to rise and economic inequality widening, the question remains: What will the future of America's cities look like? What do you think is the biggest cause of homelessness in the US? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.